All right, let's get into the latest NBA rumors here. And before we do, let's take a look at the meter here with our crying Jordans, our scale of believability, if you will, on all these rumors. So 0 crying Jordans there. It's the finger wag, of course. Do not believe in that rumor. 1 crying Jordan, small shred of truth. 2, you got people are talking. 3, pretty likely. 4, Curry for 3. Bang.
Absolutely, man. 4 crying Jordans means 100% chance that this is going to happen. It might have actually already happened.
All right, let's get to rumor number 1. Dante Exum returning to Utah. What do you make of this?
This is an interesting one because Dante Exum has had a very weird career at the Utah Jazz. I'm only going to give this one 2 heads simply because I'm not really sure if they want him back. He wants to be back, though, and that's important. He just has never been able to get his feet under him, and it's kind of interesting. Donovan Mitchell has kind of become the player they thought Dante Exum was going to end up being. Dante Exum, if you remember from his old YouTube highlights that ended up getting him drafted, he was really, really good, and he just has not found a home in the NBA so far, but he started to play really well in the playoffs. He didn't play that many minutes, but when he was out there on the court, he was playing great defense. He was using that length to get to the rim. His jump shot was there a little bit. He still can't shoot threes, which is very annoying, but he shot 48% from the field in the playoffs, which is a huge improvement for him. I think they're going to give him 1 more year to see what they can do. He was a high draft pick, and if they can turn him into a legitimate 6th or 7th man off the bench, you do it. But he's got 1 year left in Utah before they look elsewhere.
All right, let's get to rumor number 2 here.
Oh,
Dwane Casey getting fired.
First, before we show how many heads are this, shame on you, Toronto Raptors, for even considering this. And also, just shame on the NBA for considering this to be a factor. We're still giving this 3 heads because they're going to do it. They're going to blame Dwane Casey for LeBron James running over their team. He's going to be the scapegoat. But do you know what the problem is? It wasn't his fault. The players were terrible. They were horrible. DeMar DeRozan folded under the pressure unlike any NBA player that we've seen in such a long time. Kyle Lowry is proven to be one of the worst NBA starting point guards in the playoffs that we have in the NBA right now. Just the entire team fell apart, and somehow that's Dwane Casey's fault. He completely changed his offensive system to make it more modern for the NBA. They were one of the best defensive teams in all of basketball. He even won the NBA Coach of the Year award from his peers, which, mind you, was a stupid thing. We'll get to that a little bit later.
Stevens didn't get a vote.
That was stupid. I'll talk about that in a minute. But Dwane Casey getting fired, you better have like Rick Carlisle or one of the top 5 coaches in the NBA lined up after you get rid of Dwane Casey. Because guess what? He's proved this year he's one of the 5 to 10 best coaches in the NBA. And if you don't have him on your team, you better damn have someone good to replace him. Because if you fire him and you bring in like David Blatt and they suck, congratulations, you just ruined your team. You just ruined any chance you had ever had of getting past LeBron. It's insane.
All right, we're going to give this 3 crying Jordans. Let's get to rumor number 3. Hammon to be the coach of the Bucks. What's the latest here, Harris?
Well, at this point, I don't think it's going to happen. We're only going to give this one 2 heads. Hey, before we move on further, good on the Bucks for bringing in Becky Hammon as an interview. The first female head coaching interview in NBA history. Far too late, mind you, but Becky Hammon is a great head coaching candidate. She's reportedly a top 3 candidate for them, but I think Mike Budenholzer is going to take the lead. I also think that the Bucks are waiting to see what the Raptors do with Dwane Casey. The Bucks are probably the top coaching just spot right now, but I just think that Becky Hammon should go. I don't want her to go to a current NBA playoff team. I think it'd be best for her to go to a lower tier team. Like I thought the Suns would have been great for her. I want to see her make a system. I want to see her change the fortunes of a locker room and a franchise. And I just don't know if the Bucks would have been the right place for her. Good on her, though, for getting the interview. I think the Bucks are looking for a little bit more of an experienced candidate as they currently have a playoff team.
All right, let's get to rumor number 4 here. Clint Capela to the Suns.
This is one that I learned about this morning that I am absolutely in love with. I'm giving this one 3 heads. Apparently they are enamored with him, and they want to offer him the max as a restricted free agent this offseason. And I originally had the Suns offering this kind of contract to Aaron Gordon, who's probably going to end up leaving the Magic. But Clint Capela would be a much better fit. So good on defense. He'd be so special on offense. You give him a legitimate point guard like they did with Chris Paul, and he's going to be a fantastic player down
Does he
low.
deserve a max contract?
Yes, he absolutely does. Not just because of what he does on offense, but mostly because on the defensive side of the ball, he was one of the best big men in the NBA.
All right, there you go. Clint Capela perhaps headed to Phoenix. Let's go to rumor number 5. Carlisle to the Bucks. More Bucks rumors here.
Not going to happen. We're only going to give this one head. There was a rumor out there that he was thinking about leaving the Mavs in order to go to the Bucks. It's not going to happen. He said that the rumors of his interest are quote-unquote inaccurate. I'm not going to call it fake news because he is coming off the worst record of his coaching career and might be tired of losing/tanking. So we're just going to keep it as one head. But Rick Carlisle is an incredibly loyal man. He's done an amazing job with the Mavs. I don't think he's ever going to leave unless he gets fired. And that's just kind of, I love Rick Carlisle. I think that what the Mavs are doing with him as the head coach is so wrong for his legacy. He's an amazing, amazing head coach.
All right, let's talk Jerry Stackhouse, perhaps to the Magic. Seems unlikely here.
It is also unlikely. There was a couple reports out that he had an interview with them and he didn't really blow anyone away. We're only going to give this one head because now it's a real question of whether or not he actually interviewed for the job, which is a very weird report that apparently we originally had that they didn't wow him, and now we're getting that they didn't even interview him. Typical Magic messing this up somehow. Jerry Stackhouse will end up with a job this offseason. I think it's time for him to take that next step as a coach. He was fantastic with the G League team for the Raptors this year. I'm excited to see what Jerry Stackhouse is going to be as an NBA head coach.
All right, there you go. The latest rumors across the NBA.